A year ago, I had a chance to drive a G80 M3, and let me tell you guys, that vehicle left an impression on me. Now, I think I have made a different solution for you guys. Hey guys, welcome to Chris Mack. In this review, I have this 2024 G82 M4 Coupe Xdrive, and I'm going to show you all of its new features, take it on a M Sport drive, and give you guys my final verdict. But let's go ahead and try a remote start. We're going to lock the doors, hit the button 3 times. On the first try, let's go ahead, drum roll, get into this review. Looking on the outside of the 2024 BMW M4 Xdrive Comp, this is your key fob. You do have unlock, lock, as well as a trunk release and a panic button with the BMW M colors on the side of the key fob. Now, as equipped, this vehicle is $92,745. It is dressed in a Dravit Grey exterior for $1,950 on a Fiona Red Interior. I am loving this spec, by the way. But looking at the front end design of this M4, you can see the massive kidney grills, which I have to say is really starting to grow on me and really does complement this gray exterior, as well as the black, where you really can't see it that much. But look a little bit more at the front. You can see this version does also have the LED laser headlight package for $1,000. You have full LED lighting with the laser lights for your low and high beams. Parking sensors are up front as well. But looking over here at the wheels, you have a 19-inch wheel up front with a 20-inch wheel in the rear. It is a black finish. This is a 826M style wheel. You have 275 with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires in the front and 285s in the rear. You have your M4 comp badging right there on the side. You can see the lower body is blacked out. You have blacked out mirror caps. This does have blind spot as well as lane keeping assist, automatic emergency braking, and so on. A moonroof is also up top right there, and you have keyless entry for the front door handles. Now, this version also does have the executive package for $1,550, which does add the head-up display, as well as the power trunk, and a couple other niceties, which I will put in the description below. But looking at the rear of the M4, looks so aggressive and mean with this M rear diffuser right there, this quad exhaust setup. You have full LED tail lights, the LED turn signals right there, the reverse lights, as well as your brake lights, which are right there as well. M4 comp badging, as well as your Xdrive logo right there. But look at this M spoiler, which is blacked out. Looks so cool, very aggressive. Opening the trunk, you'll find 12 cubic feet of space. The seats do fold down in a 40-20-40 fashion. You have a little storage compartment with your first aid kit, some carpeted floor mats. You also have your front license plate bracket and some more storage over here. These are your buttons to close it. You can close it and lock the doors right there with that one. But now, let me show you guys under the hood. In BMW fashion, you pull it twice. There's no latch, which just really makes it a lot easier to access the engine. But under the hood of this M4, you'll find a 3-liter straight 6 twin turbo known as the S58. Makes 503 horsepower with a 479 pound-foot of torque. You get 16 in the city, 22 on the highway, and 18 combined. Vehicle weight is 3,979 pounds, as this is the Xdrive automatic version with the 8-speed automatic. You can also get a 6-speed manual rear-wheel drive version as the base version. And you can also option this with a rear-wheel drive with the automatic. You see the structural rigidity with the strut bracing right there. So it's so cool. And the turbo whistle, you can hear a little blow off. I'll show you guys once we hit the road with that. But this is just a masterpiece of an engine. But But now, let me go ahead and hit the interior. Now, to be honest, I'm not gonna go in the back seats because it is a little tight and I don't wanna get stuck back there, but just wanted to show you a quick preview. Actually does have pretty good space back there. Shockingly, I could probably get back there with probably half an inch of legroom. Headroom being a coupe is definitely tight. Get a 3/4 view for you guys before we hit the interior. Boom. I would say honestly, this is definitely like one of my specs. The only thing I'll probably add is just the adaptive cruise control and the Driver Assist Pro package for $1,700. But heading inside of the interior, over in the door panels, you have 2-person memory with your window controls. This Fiona Red though, just look at that, it looks so cool. You have your power seat controls for your bolstering, for your lumbar, bottom, as well as back support right there. And you do have the manual waterfall cushion right there. Little storage with your light controls and a manual tilt telescoping steering column. Stepping inside of the M4. Let's roll that window up so you guys can get the full cabin experience. You are greeted with this M head-up display up top. We have your speed as well as speed limit in your area. And you can put up all your various different information, which I will cycle through in a second. When I tell you about this 12.3-inch cluster right here in front of you, use the little screen right here, the buttons, to toggle through your various different menus. So you can change the content, tire pressure, sport displays, your G-force meter, and so on. You can also put your media information right there. If you toggle through over here on this side of the steering wheel, you can toggle your head-up display. So it's in the standard view, directional view right there so you can see your heading, as well as the reduced view again. This one does have the carbon fiber interior trim package for $950. So you get carbon around the steering wheel as well as the paddle shifters right here. I know that sun's getting to you guys, and we block it so you guys can see a little bit. Boom. You see that right there? You have the programmable M1 and M2 buttons, which I will talk about once we hit a little bit more on the infotainment, as well as the heated steering wheel down below with the M inscripted right there. But I do also want to show you guys the various different modes when you change the screen. So right now it's in the road mode and in the sport mode, which is my personal favorite right there. But looking at this infotainment, this is a 14.9-inch display. This is part of the new Xdrive 8 for 2024. So I do want to start with a quick audio test. Now it does have a 16-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. So let's try it out. Now, as you can see, the 16-speaker Harman Kardon sound system does have pretty good bass and sound quality, but I personally like the Bowers & Wilkins sound system in other BMW models a little bit better. Just has that extra bit of 3D sound that you really want. But looking back at this infotainment, you have your home page right there. This is your main display. So I do want to try a navigation test as well. So we will put in a address. See how responsive the screen is? So much better than the Xdrive 7. But you can see right there, navigation is very quick, easy to use, and responsive. But going back to your home page right there, you have your different setups right here. So let me talk, that's more about the drive modes. So this is more your standard setup when you have your setup display set up like this. And then you can configure the M1 as well as M2 buttons right here on the steering wheel. You guys can see that. So this is how I have my M1 set up for everything in Sport Plus with MDM 4-wheel drive Sport. Auto start stop is deactivated, and I have the M sound on. Now for M2, which I have to say is for if you want to have a little bit more fun, I have DSC off, so you can go between a 2-wheel drive or a 4-wheel drive Sport, or even a regular 4-wheel drive version right there for the all-wheel drive system. We'll just leave it in 4-wheel drive Sport, but you can definitely have plenty of rear-wheel drive shenanigans in the 2-wheel drive version right there, which you can actually select, which is cool with this M Xdrive system. I have it in manual mode, steering and comfort. In case you want to slide out a bit, you can control it. And then scrolling a little bit more over into the infotainment, you have your phone connections, personal assistance, engine settings right there, as well as your weather. You can put up my BMW apps right there, so you have the full little display right there showing your horsepower, torque, as well as PSI for the turbos, and the vehicle temperature right there. more information right there. And if you hit that app button, that pull up all your different displays where you can see your built-in Google Maps, podcasts, radios, all the information that you would ever need in this vehicle. And you can put up all that stuff right here. I'm sure you guys, you do also have a ambient lighting setting as well inside of the interior lighting. Boom, there it goes right there. So you can change the colors, and I have to say it looks so cool at nighttime, but you can see a little bit of the blue right there. So that's the blue. We'll go rose, and then let's try like a flamingo. You probably don't see it right now because it is pretty sunny outside, but it's pretty good. I like it. The citron right there, that really looks cool. I was hoping for a purple, but shockingly I haven't seen it yet. But look a little bit more at this infotainment. This is where all your settings is for the displays, the driving settings right there for your driver assist technology right there, the lane keeping assist, blind spot alert, and so on. You can change that, as well as the feedback and steering intervention right here. And there's some more setups right there. Now looking further down below, you have your climate control menu, which you can pull up by hitting the climate menu. You have a 3-zone heated front seat to go with the heated steering wheel. And then you can have your dual zone climate control for the driver as well as passenger over here. And you can also sync it as well. But you can change all that different stuff right there. But looking further down below, you can track forward and back your radio functions as well as your volume control, your window defrost. But look at this carbon fiber trim right here. For $950, this interior is sweet. My phone is just chilling right there on the wireless charging pad with a USB-A port as well as a 12-volt right there for charging. Now the USB-A port does connect to the infotainment. You have 2 cupboards, which are a pretty good size. But this right here, the center console of any M car, is like a cruise ship or like a aircraft carrier, the way it has so many controls right here. But over here on this side is how you can control your iDrive infotainment. So you have your home, map, media, telephone, navigation. You can toggle up and down. You have a back button if you make a mistake, as well as option button. You can go up and down and everything with this little rotary dial right there. But this is the M specific gear shifter right here. Push it over and up. Here we go, over and up for reverse. We have a backup camera with trajectory lines and parking sensors, both front and rear. Go down for neutral, drive, as well as manual mode right there. You push for park. This changes your gear changes right here between all the way down for minimum, which is 1, and then all the way up for ferocious shifts in level 3. Your traction control for either on, DSC on, as well as MDM or DSC fully off. Parking sensor off, a auto start stop defeat button with your push button start. And this M mode button right here changes the various different themes on this screen right here. Like I stated about when I first talked about this cluster between the sport and the road mode. I'll demonstrate that again so you guys can see that. So this is in its sport, and then that's the road mode right there. But I like the sport the best. It looks way better, if I'm being honest. You have a shortcut button right there for the setups, as well as you can put on the exhaust system, which does pipe in audio as well. You have an electronic parking brake right there. Look inside of the center console, even more carbon fiber. Look at this. Look at all this carbon fiber right here. You have another USB-C port, as well as a little bit of illumination, and pretty good storage in here, which for a coupe. Now up top, you do have a garage door opener right there with the various different modes, some LED illumination, and you can also slide and open the moonroof right there, which does let in pretty good light. But I think I would go for the carbon fiber roof to help with structural rigidity, especially with like handling in the corners and so on. But now let's go and take the M4 for a drive and check out some of the performance aspects. We are behind the wheel of the 2024 BMW M4 Xdrive Comp. Now, speaking of visibility out the front, rear, and sides, I can see very good over the hood, as well as out the side mirrors and even out the back. You do have this clear, crisp head display right here in front of me with your speed as well as the speed limit in the area. This driving around in its normal kind of comfort and efficiency settings. The vehicle is very calm, collected. You can definitely feel a little bit of that sport-tuned M suspension. Now, I did have a chance to drive this vehicle the other day, put a few miles on it, and get some more impressions. So I will be talking about that, as well as also driving the previous generation M3/M4. Now, the sport seats are pretty good. These are the standard seats with the light up M logo. Seats are good. You have power bolstering, as well as the forward lumbar support with the little cushion, which is manual, as well as power back and bottom. But I think personally, I would get the bucket seats, as those have just a little bit more of that kind of planted feel, and for just a little bit of compromise in a perfect vehicle, I think that's just fine. Now, what I also don't like is this gauge cluster right here, in its more standard view. But personally, if I put it into its sport view right there, it'll just change up everything. But let me show you guys the interactive displays, which I will put up right here. So boom, go to my BMW. You see right there it's charging up the battery. But I do want to go into M1. I'll change it to sport mode, and we'll just takes off. The torque is just crazy. This S58. Woo! Makes 503 horsepower with 479 pound-foot. So now we're about to hit the back road, so I'll just shut up and let you guys see the performance. Oh, this thing is just crazy, man. And the brakes just match everything. This 8-speed automatic just has dual clutch levels of shifting. Now, I don't like the active sound design, but you can also program that out for the fake engine noise, but still have the valves open. And yes, in this MDM sport mode, it just allows a little bit of slip. The way this thing just accelerates is just crazy. We watch for the pedestrians, as a good driver should. God, this thing just moves, man. Woo! Just feels like you're riding on rails. Whew. Alright, let's chill for me. Yeah. Suspension just feels so good, so planted. But like I stated a second ago, the active sound or the fake engine noise, let me show you guys what it sounds like off. Let's roll it down so you can hear the natural sound. You see right there, it sounds just way better. But I do want to try a quick acceleration. So you have to be in its M2 mode, manual mode, everything in the sport. We'll just brake gas. Preparing. God, this thing moves, man. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Now this Xdrive just does a 3.4 second 0 to 60, which I think is conservative. Easily feels like the 3.2 0 to 60. And I'm sure if you go on the track, whatever, you could probably get like 3 seconds flat. So this is just in its regular M1, just quick brake boost. Or you know what, I'm just going to demonstrate without brake boosting. Low lag. Woo! This thing just has limitless power. And in the aftermarket world, you can just get these things easily 700 horsepower. Let me turn off that fake engine noise so I can show you guys what it sounds like. You get a little bit of the turbo blow off, which is crazy. And that transmission tuning, wow, it's just crazy. I don't know, I like it better off, the fake engine noise. We're gonna hold third gear. Or sec. God. I can't express the level of just acceleration that you get in this car. It's just mind-blowing. Now, when you compare it to the previous generation, definitely does feel more planted. You feel more secure with the Xdrive. It gives you a little bit more confidence, but just a freak of a car, man. Just crazy. I just love the crack, the little whip crack on the upshift. That sounds so good. Let me show you guys what it sounds like. Window cracked a bit, so you guys can hear that whip crack a little bit more. Oh, that whip crack sounds amazing. Now, I heard a lot of people say that they didn't like the way the previous S55 sounded. Honestly, it wasn't too bad, but you get an equal length mid-pipe on that, and boom, you're all good. But this thing right here is just crazy. It's everything right here at your fingertips. That's the only problem, though, with the fake engine noise is that it's tied into the exhaust. So if you program it out, you'll get like the burbles and stuff, but you won't get that when you have the fake engine noise on. But yeah. But let's go ahead and hit the highway, and I'll see you guys in 1 second. For you, it's 1 second, but me, it's probably 5 minutes. Who knows? Jesus, whoa. This thing just moves. Woo. Yeah, we had to blow the speed on that because this thing is just insane. But as we go ahead and chill on the highway, I'm gonna throw it out of its M mode into its more regular, more docile mode. How was it on the highway? Doing about maybe 55, 60 miles an hour. The cabin is very calm, quiet, and collected. Not too much road noise outside, but you can definitely feel that M-tune suspension on the highway. Now, the only thing missing is the Driver Assist Professional Plus package for $1,700, which will give you the full Driver Assist technology, adaptive cruise control. But this does have the lane keeping assist with blind spot information as well as forward collision warning. Give you a little bit of feedback in the wheel, and they also pull you back over. You can also configure that inside of the infotainment. But yeah, just on the highway though, this M4 is just sweet. As we get a little bit closer to the dealership, I'm going to get to the conclusion of what I think about this M4. We'll go back to the M1. As stated before, the performance is definitely there. This thing just handles on rails, tuning capability. Ooh, that blower valve. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but in person, it's amazing. But the performance, as I stated before, is right there with this M4. You have everything that you want in that aspect. If I really had to be more nitpicky, I would get the bucket seats, the driver assist package, and I'll find a way to program that fake engine noise off because it's a little too synthesized and fake for me, if I'm being honest. But it sounds so good. I had it the other day. I was driving windows down, the button off, everything is like a sport mode, and it was just amazing. Look, there's another fellow BMW. But yeah, technology-wise, this being the 24, you do have the new Xdrive 8, which is amazing wireless connectivity, very big screens. And depending upon how you use the system, you'll find that it does have pretty good setup for menus and stuff. But at certain times, it can be a little too much when you go into your apps. Now, the 16-speaker Harman sound system is okay, but as stated before in my walkaround, I think the Bowers & Wilkins definitely would be a massive upgrade if they offer that in this vehicle. But yeah, the ambient lighting though, this car looks so nice at nighttime. You got the cool lighting around the dash, even like the gear shifter lights up too. But yeah, the performance is definitely there with this car. And the transmission program, it just seems so much more like brutal and aggressive than the last G80 I reviewed, which is about a year ago, the 23. Seems like a lot more just aggressive and angry. All right, it's tunnel time. And I love using this little controller right here, the gear shifter. And that's also what I like too about this M4 is that you do have the programmable M mode, so you can actually change everything. You can put it in a two-wheel drive version. Despite this being Xdrive, you can put a DSC off, two-wheel drive, and have all the shenanigans fun in this vehicle. Now this one is about $92,000, and this is honestly a spec that I'll probably get with the addition of the stuff that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, this gray, this Dravit Grey on this Fiona Red Interior, this spec is to die for. The only thing I'll also add too, in addition to all the stuff, is just the red brake calipers. But this is Chris signing out. This traffic is killing my vibe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.